Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to share with you this half-baked kind of like alien brain monster. This is a pretty simple example. You can definitely improve this one. I'm gonna show you how I started. So it's basically like an icosphere and then all these curved lines where I instance like points to volume so I can kind of mesh it. Yeah, but let's take a look how I actually instance the leg parts. There's a lot of interesting things that you can do here. So it's you can think of it like a spider, but basically any creatures with tentacles, like spider, octopus. You can create it this way. So I started with this idea. Okay, just a circle where we instance curve. As for the curve itself, it's actually I started with Bezier. I hardly ever use this node until today. I think it's a Bezier Segment. It's really good for the legs. So the only control I give to this spider is the height. So the height will kind of push the leg and also move the icosphere up and down. So there is of course the offset, but all I want is like a single surface that's covering everything. So let's take a look. There's actually like this weird things that I will need to explain. So anyway, again, the one that's doing the job is this instance on points, and I'm using a curved circle to instance the legs of the spider. Okay, so that should be pretty simple. And then the radius you can control. So that's just the circle, nothing much. There's this set curve radius that this didn't really work. I wish this kind of transfer. I think you can use attribute transfer or capture for this to work, so that we can control the radius of the legs. Currently the legs is just like I'm using random, but this curve parameter and then float curve should transfer the radius into, if you use it with curve to mesh, you can actually get a profile to have different radius. I should have used this, I guess, beforehand. Anyway, I skipped that. I just instance on points based on the curved circle, and this is the Bezier. You can play around with this Bezier. There's a bit of control here, which actually can be interesting. If you see spider looking like this, it's looking pretty angry. Yeah, this is looking like like a spider sculpture in Japan or somewhere. Okay, align Euler. I'm using X. This is for the rotations of the instance. Without this, the leg will be just all over the place. Without the rotations, it's just gonna be like that. We need to rotate it. So it's just like a circular array, nothing much. But it's a really fun creations, and nevertheless, yeah, it's looking quite neat as well. Okay, so that's instance the point, and then I use curve to points just to set the resolutions of the points along this line. It's kind of like resampling as well. I have multiple resample here. Play around with this. Some of them can give you an interesting design of the spider. So every resample and then the segment matters, and then real-as instance. Okay, before join geometry, I have this real-as instance. If I enable this, everything will be a single surface because everything will become like points, which we use to generate the volume, etc. Okay, So this might be what you want. Become a single surface. Without this, however, it's looking also kind of neat. Each one of them still like a separate surface. Okay, let's talk about the top bit. It's just an icosphere where I separate the geometry. I inverted the area. So I'm basically selecting one of the polygon face. This is, I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be the eye for the spider. So this is the result. Basically, it's super simple. It's just an icosphere with one polygon face being cut like a triangle shape there. And the offset, okay, this is also important. This value is controlling the height of the spider. All right, so yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. You can definitely improve this setup. What else I need to talk about? This icosphere, you can increase the subdivision, so it's becoming more like weird looking. And then you can use like random value, maybe like random value boolean, plug this into the selections. Now you can have this like hollow spider. And then randomize some points, distribute some points on the face, randomize the seed. I said this is like a really raw and crude spider. You can paint on this, however. It's looking pretty interesting. You can, okay, this is like randomizing the volume, the points radius. That's gonna be turned into mesh. This, I think this realize instance is also useful. It's affecting the result, but I think the radius, the random points doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. I wish we don't need to do this, but this works better, I guess. If you bake this guy, let's say, okay, we want to have a bit of control. So we have this value, and I use right mouse button and shift, so it's become a single value like this, and then I use group input, pipe this out. So we have this sleeping spider, duplicate it, so we have brother, okay, brother sister spider, different height. Some control there, make it dancing. If we actually bake this, Command A, okay, disappear. Interesting. If we turn this on, maybe it won't disappear. Yeah, that's the difference, the instancing. You probably need to realize instance and then increase the density here. You can play around with the radius, but it's become a single value radius. I don't know why. I don't know why we cannot plug this. Could be a bug, but if you do that, we can just Command A on, like we can just convert to mesh, and everything will become a single object that you can paint on something like Procreate. You can send this to Procreate and do some painting. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you find this interesting. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.